Should I go in there? Should I go in there? Sitting 20 feet above the ground in a tree with bison surrounding me is not the way I thought this day was going to go. I can see the two males. They're standing up facing me now. There's a couple of cows in the pasture there, and one cow was walking at me a minute ago. I'm not sure what I got myself into here. Those two big ones with the green tags in their ears facing me, those are the bulls. Those are the males. And they're even rough with the females, so I gotta see what's going on here. Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper. Today, I'm actually out on somebody else's property trying to locate some resources for me. Cool thing is, in my area, a lot of things that I really appreciate, people don't necessarily like. A good example would be carp and gar. I love them. They're so good for me. Another example is rocks. A lot of people don't really like rocks, but I like them. They work out good for me. Another example is cedar trees. I'm looking at this one right here. A couple other ones. So, talking with a neighbor recently who I help out sometimes. He was working on a project once, needs some help tearing off some shingles on the roof. I had just gotten bees. He traded me a bunch of beekeeping stuff for my labor. That is an awesome way of doing it. Check this out. Boy. See, the cedars on my property are small, and then the ones that are big, they just grow up like a triangle almost. This one here, look at this. It starts off nice, probably about 10 inches across, and it just goes up and up and up and up. If I took down a tree like that, that could potentially give me like 4 of the posts I'm looking for. Actually, back on my priorities right now, and I think I'm gonna have somebody else stop in to help me later today. But for my outdoor kitchen project, I think I'm gonna need 12 decent sized cedar posts and like beams, you know, like big ones, not like a fence post. And for the lean-to off my shipping container, and those are my top 2 priorities right now to get finished, the root cellar / storm shelter and the lean-to off my shipping container, I'm probably gonna need another 6. I'm just looking here at what I got, and of course these two are long enough and tall enough and trapped up there enough that it's gonna be difficult to get some of these down. Even if I cut them off at the roots, they're not exactly going to be able to get through. And then if you notice here too, all these vines are covered in thorns. It's all greenbrier. Since I'm learning more and more and more about the wild, I know that that's a good high protein, incredibly high for a plant really, food source out here, and we definitely like them. But it's kind of like barbed wire, living barbed wire out here in the woods. And that's part of why I don't really like it. Boy, that would be a good one too. I'll see what I start with. And then the other thing is I've got to actually get these out of here. So I'm trying to look at more of the closer ones to where I can drive so that I can take them out and not have to move them as far. All right, I think I know where I'm starting. Let's get going. So far so good. First tree came down almost as good as I could have hoped for. It went where I wanted to, it made it through where I wanted to. I'm just gonna clean it all the way up, cut it into sections and get it all out of here before I move on to the next one that I prepared. Realistically, looks like maybe 2 actual posts out of here, and then a smaller one I could use for something else, but for this big project, my main project right now, looks like I get 2. So I'm gonna clean this up, put it on the trailer, and then move on to the next one. I forgot to measure the side of my shipping container, especially because it's up on a mound. So I'm gonna have to do that before I cut some of these up. Oh, found a walking stick too. And I know about how big I want the ones for my root cellar because I know how deep they're gonna go, but I didn't bring a tape measure. So I'm gonna pull this whole thing off to the side, I think, and then figure things out. But this first one's cleaned up. I'm gonna move this guy out of my construction zone, out of my destruction zone, and yeah, see if I can drag this thing off. There you go. Plan B, I'm gonna drop the second one first, then I'm gonna go get the tape measure, then I'm gonna move forward. Not quite as strong as I thought I was. Maybe I'll get there. I think the best way to describe this is that the second one is kind of down, but you can see it's still over that first one. The second one's over the first one. There we go. So I think I'm gonna go get the tape measure, see if I don't have enough space to make my cut without that thing falling on me, and then go from there. And I still gotta make it over the neighbors here and check out that tree on one of these trips. Maybe I should do that right away, maybe later, I don't know. So many vines and different stuff holding everything together. So, you know, I'm cutting down this tree. This tree is probably 40 feet tall. Up at the top, it's probably got almost a 20-foot spread. How do you bring that down in an existing forest? Carefully. You can see me using that leverage to kick it out. And one thing to remember too, if you're using a board like that, a stick, a log to pry it, you know, don't put it on top of your thigh or anything, because if that thing all the way drops and the big one drops, the one you're using for leverage is going to come down too. So, you know, don't use your weight and put it on top of your thigh to shove it out. Just hang on it with your hands. It's easy enough to let it slide through your fingers and not crush you. Well, made it back. Brought one of these. This is one of my favorite tools. And see that? That's a helper. What do you got?
Tape measure?
He's got the tape measure. So he's gonna help keep me safe. I know some of these measurements. I'm gonna get them cut where I need to. We'll move forward from there. Well, both of those first two are cut up. They're each sectioned out, so I got 1 2 out of 1 plus an extra. That's not going to be used for either of these two projects, but it could still come in handy for some other stuff. And there's one there, plus a shorty up in the bushes. And I pulled one out towards the trailer already, so I think the next tree to go is going to be right here. I've got 2 more right here. I'm probably just going to take down this ugly guy because he doesn't like cedars anyway. But this one here should work. That one there, possibly him, and maybe this one here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of keep working through this particular area, trying to make most of my mess in one area. And he don't care, he just wants them gone, so that works out well for me. This guy's trying to steer clear and clean up greenbrier because it's like a trip hazard, razor wire the woods. And I still gotta go check out that tree in the bison too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna go. Do you think it's gonna be safe?
No.
No.
Actually,
We'll see, we'll see. I ran out of gas as I was doing that one and didn't go back to recording, but here's what I want you to see. Here's this one I just cut down, right? In preparation of it going down, I did snip off that guy, but I left him a little up. And look at that. Here's the second one I cut down. And here's the first one I cut down. Do you see how I was able to lay that cedar right up this empty path I just made? All 3 of those are pretty much in a row. And yeah, I could probably take this one and do the same thing. This one will be 2. That one there looks like I might be able to get 3. We'll see, but right down there, son. You see that? Joe, show me the stumps. Ready? Go. Count them as you go.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so stand on the first stump that I cut down. Okay, then come to the second one. And come to the third one. How cool is that? That's what I was trying to have a plan and take them down in a way that makes sense. Did it work?
Yeah.
This guy here, he knows a thing or two. First of all, I never asked him to clean up all the branches. He just started on his own, but look at how he lays them. I've met much older children than him who don't know. Lay them all the same way. That way if you ever move them later, you can grab them from this end and pull them out real easy. They lay flatter, it makes a nice pile. Easier to deal with later. In fact, I know adults who don't even have that sense. Wow, and way to go. This kid's soaked too. He ain't even been in the creek over the hill. He's just soaked with sweat. Way to go, Mr. 8-year-old. That's crazy. If an 8-year-old can do it, what's my excuse? I don't have one. I gotta do it too. So I took a trip home. I got the first 6 and then a couple odds and ends, little shorties. Cool thing is I can drive right around my root cellar project, so I'm dropping them off right here. Good gardener spits his seeds after he saves some. But Mama Pepper had some watermelon. I had to punch a couple buttons on the computer, put out a post, sit in the AC in front of a fan for a little bit. And I'm not sure if I completely shared. I was mentioning to the neighbor, you know, if he needs help with anything, and he asked me if I could go identify a tree in the middle of his bison pen. I know bison ain't generally pets, you know, so I'm not sure their temperament. But I saw it a while ago and I said, hey, is that a wild cherry tree? And he goes, I'm not sure. I said, well, I know your bison cost you a pretty penny. You put them out in this, you know, pasture now. If that's a cherry tree, then it could drop leaves that have a high cyanide content and potentially kill them, and that would really put the damper on your, you know, bison farm here. So I didn't want that happening, but you want to see if I get a closer look at it. So I'm gonna unload these, drop them off pretty much right here by my supplies for this project, and then go check out this bison thing, and then go back to work making the next batch. I got about a third of what I need total. 18 to 20 should get me everything I need for the whole projects, but I'll have to see. I should measure that too. You ready? That's a little helper, right? You help Papa? All right, she's gonna help Papa. These little kids wanted a appropriate job to work on. So she's trying to, you gotta stand up and then squat down with your knees and then stand up, pull. Oh, yeah, she got it. This guy here, he's built Homestead Tough. Show me the shirt. Yeah. This one our animals don't like to eat, and I'm not sure what it is, but if it goes to seed it just makes more, so we're going to pick it all before it sheds its seeds and help this area be nicer. Whoa, good one, tough stuff. So I figure that'd be a good project for these little ones to work on. A baby one! Yeah, you did. It is a baby one. Alright kids, I'm gonna go down and check this tree at the bison. Pinky, you can do some photography for me?
Yes, sir.
Maybe some filming so I can pay attention to my surroundings. Alright, and you're there for moral support. Who's this one, male or female?
Female. A male's coming though.
First one?
Yeah, that second one there. Yeah, blue tag is male, yellow is female.
Boy, there's a lot of lesbians out here.
At least that pig's minding his business. What in the world? Those must be those weird the French ones, the white ones, and that one is looks like a Wyandotte.
So, up in the tree, checking this out right now, I wanted to get a good look at it, and I didn't want to be distracted by these bison. I figured if I'm standing on the ground, I got to watch out constantly. I do have Monster Truck and Pinky watching as well, so it's not like I don't have an eye on the ground. Probably 15 to 20 feet above where my head is right now. And this is the tree I thought it was. I'm not seeing the berries right now, but this should be, this is who I thought it was. And this is an issue. I believe this is a wild cherry tree. When a wild cherry tree's leaves wilt and fall to the ground, they have a very high cyanide content to the point they could even kill livestock. Bison are a pretty good investment. You can see, I'll have Pinky roll some footage to show you the bison better. Hey Pinky, walk over by the fence there and see if you can get some good video of the bison for me. Yep. Yep. Take some good video and then snap some good photos.
Hi. How are you?
So, yeah, those two in the middle, those are males there. The bulls, those are cows, and there's a cow there. But when I first saw this tree, I mentioned it to my neighbor. And when I mentioned getting these cedars and if there's anything I could do to help him, he says, well, why don't you start by helping me know what this tree is. And the thing is too, like even when we take them down on our property, when we cut them off, we drag everything out of there right away because they'll come up and nibble on, you know, whatever there is. And if we do that, then by removing the tree and putting this all at their level, you could potentially kill your animals. Not good. Not good. Okay, Pinky's getting some stuff right now. So, cool thing there is I at least took care of this part of the deal. Now I'm gonna go back and get that second load. Made it back to the woods. My helper is here, and honestly, I don't think I would have even loaded up all those. He may only be 8, but when I'm trying to carry one of those big heavy ones, as long as they are, and as heavy as they are, to have him grabbing the front of that and carry it out there, so much easier. And also, look at this workstation. He got like all this stuff. There's a pile over there in the woods all laying the same way, and a nice pile here, which makes life a whole lot easier when you're out here working. So I'm gonna see what I can get on this second load. Maybe I can get them all. Probably not today, but I'm gonna try. And you guys know how cutting trees down and all that goes. If you want to listen to some music, just put on your favorite song. I'm not gonna show you all my work. I'll just show you where I get to. But I did talk to my neighbor, and he's probably gonna give me a call later on too. He's gonna take that tree out, and he's gonna, as soon as he cuts it down, remove it from there, and just remove that as from being a potential threat for his herd of bison. So, and I've never been that close to bison in my life. Now I can't think of where I would have. So, interesting. But I'll tell you what, being that high up a tree too, just so much easier to pay attention to what I'm looking at than being on the ground with, you know, potentially one right behind you. For those of you who are concerned when I show this, trust me, this is incredibly secure right now. But look at that boy. Yes, he's over rocks. I get it.
But now I'm over what?
Now he's over water, he says. Isn't that crazy, some of the vines out here? It's a organic, non-GMO jungle gym. That's what it is, a real jungle gym. Works with agility, strength. I'll tell you what, maybe I shouldn't share this story, but I'm gonna. Took Red Pepper in for some dental stuff, and they had a play area. A series of cargo nets climbing up to a big area. And most of the children there were not exactly the same shape as my children. Most of the children there do not, you know, for them, it's probably bags of potato chips, cans of soda throughout the day, couch, television, video games, stuff like that. And a couple of the kids started trying to use this stuff, and they would go into the first cargo net, and then they got to go up to the next one, and they would like lay there on their back and their belly and try to pull themselves up, and they'd have like a foot up and a hand up and like not be able to do anything, like ugh. And one kid comes in and the cargo nets are kind of like this, and he came in and he rolled over on his back and he's trying to grab and reach up and he's going, I'm stuck, help, I'm stuck. Kind of like a turtle on its back, although turtles can just pop their head back and flip themselves over usually. But and my daughter Red Pepper's looking at me like, Dad, is this real? And I'm like, child, understand there is a reason we raise you the way that we do, in the environment we do. Understand there's a reason why, even in this situation. I'll let him check that out for a minute. I'll let him look at it. He can make it to the ground, okay? It's not that high, it's not that crazy. He didn't even get wet, you know? So there's reasons we do the things that we do, including this. I was just talking to Monster Truck here. I'm like, you know what, we could just go buy a bunch of stuff like this, but I'd rather spend the time with him doing this than leave him to go make money to buy something like this and help my neighbor who apparently hates these. I'm trying to figure out which one's next. I actually think that one's next, which is gonna drop like a nice line all the way down. We gotta get back to work though. I sat down to get a drink. He sat down to play for a minute. But we got a pretty grisly path now that I got all his branches to clean up. Oh, did I mention that if he's ever in a pasture surrounded by bison, he'll be able to crawl out of the way rather than sit down there and get used as a, I don't know, bison punching bag or whatever could happen? See? I've got my reasons. Anyone like the new outfit? Compliments of Southern Blessed Homestead. This black tee, these camouflage pants, they sent them my way, so I'll try to wear them. I'll even wear them outside the house. Alright y'all, that's that for this one. We probably got 1 or 2 more loads depending on how many trees we get. This was just 2 trees worth. We have 4 trees remaining that I need to cut up and bring in for stuff. We did stop by the neighbors. Saw them out there feeding the bison, talked to them for a bit, grabbed my chainsaw out. I thought, hey, I'm cutting down trees right now. We can move this. I can chop it down, cut it in pieces. Me and, you know, the man next door, as opposed to an 8-year-old, could move it, but it's a pretty big tree. It's pretty heavy. He said, we'll just wait for a tractor. So, offered. Waiting for a tractor is a good idea, that's fine. And that's that. So, now, I'll be working on progressing on this one again. I can't wait. I bet you guys can't wait either. It's been like, what, 2-3 years in the making? All right. Papa out.
Thank you for watching.